Hey everyone, it is Heather Hurt here with you again with the NRW Nerds Rule the World. But of course, on Wednesdays, we are New Release Wednesdays, here to talk to you about the newest and the greatest comics. Well, let's just jump right on in. It's a big week. Welcome to New Release Wednesdays. It is March 9th, and there is a huge smattering of books following the Batman opening weekend. Yeah, it's kind of like, the Ohio State, it's the Batman. So remember, in the original comics, guys, he wasn't Batman, he was the Batman. Full circle. I don't know about all of you, but I was in love with it. We have this great review already on the tubes of you, so please check it out. But of course, I have seen it twice now, and I cannot wait to see it a third time, guys. It has been so long since I've wanted to see a movie in general, let alone a comic book movie, where I have literally wanted to pay. I've wanted to go, but legitimately pay to go see a movie a second time, let alone me wanting to go a third time. But I digress. We should be talking about comics because that's where all of this comes from, right? So with that in mind, let's jump right on in with one that we usually don't start with, Image Comics. Guys, if you are not doing yourself the favor and you have never read Descender and its follow-up Ascender from writer Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen and artist Dustin Nguyen, you are literally depriving yourself of one of the most talked about comic books in the last 10 years. Literally, if you look at lists of people who, from people who say, what is your most recommended book? And I'm not just talking about retailers, I'm talking about comic book readers in general. Descender is usually either the number one or in the top three list. In the list within the top three. I am so sorry. I can speak English, I swear. It's sometimes. But if you haven't read it, you need to read it. I am a huge Jeff Lemire fan. I am a huge Dustin Nguyen fan. I literally have so many Dustin Nguyen variant covers. I probably can't count them like without losing count at least 5 or 6 times. They're two of the greatest creatives in modern day comics. You should be reading their content. Oh my goodness. And they have a new book out together. I'm so excited. I personally, I know it's not, but I'm taking it as a birthday gift to me because my birthday is this weekend, because I was just, the moment it was just like coming out March 9th, I was like, oh my God, it's for me. But I know it's not, but but what it is it is coming out only a few days after, and I'm sure this is just irony, maybe not, it could be on purpose, but it is coming out only a few days after Nosferatu's 100th anniversary. That's right, Nosferatu arrived on March 4th, 1922, guys. It's 100 years ago. Can you believe the 1900s? You can even say that it's 100 years ago. Oh my God. But then on March 9th, we get Little Monsters #1 from Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen, a story about these kids at the end of the world, and they're all alone. They just happen to be vampires. These kids, but they're still kids. They want to do everything that a kid wants to do. They want to play, they want to have fun, they want to have new experiences. But the problem is that they're bored. They live for eternity, and it's the end of the world and there's nothing to do. But then all of a sudden, something happens that changes their entire world. They were this close-knit family of vampire children, and then something just shatters all of that. It changes everything. The book is adorable and it's cute and it's got these wonderful thick outlines, and it's an adorable little horror comic that you should be reading. pick up Little Monsters #1. Do it, do it, do it. And if you haven't read Descender, I know I'm getting off topic here, but if you haven't read Descender, read Descender. It is available at your local comic shop. Pick all of it up. Okay. All right. So I did start the conversation with the Batman, and I know I'm usually that DC kid that just talks too much about DC, but guys, I have 0 DC to talk about today. It's not that there aren't amazing comics out there with DC. We got the Trial of the Amazons and stuff like that, but we have some other books that I don't want to wait. I want to talk to you about the books that I read that I truly want you to read. So don't think that I'm skipping over DC, because I would never skip DC. But we just got some Marvel titles, and we're going to get right down into it because we have 4, and we have to just pump through it. All right, let's start with Spider-Gwen, Gwenverse #1. So we started with Spider-Gwen, aka Spider-Woman, aka Ghost Spider, with Edge of Spider-Verse #2 in 2014. That of course, that came in with such heat that she got her own series in 2015. And to celebrate her getting her own ongoing, Marvel did a month of Gwen Stacy covers, which included a very popular cover by Chris Bachalo of Gwenpool. We haven't seen a Gwenpool comic in a couple of minutes, but that single cover on Gwenpool's Secret Wars, it was so popular, just a cover, that she got her own series too. Like, we cannot get enough Gwen. We can't. But all those Gwens that we're creating, they have to come from somewhere. And this is it. It's the Gwenverse. It's the Gwenverse. She was bitten by the spider. But what about the Gwen that's one of the smartest beings on her planet, and she created a suit of armor? What about the Gwen that got the super soldier serum? I can speak, I promise. Super soldier serum. What about the Gwen that was able to pick up Mjolnir and become a god? Become the god of thunder? You get my point. So where are these Gwens, and what's going to happen? And what happens when Spider-Gwen comes face to face with herself? It's a brand new 5-part miniseries from writer Tim Seeley. If you, by the way, you should read all of Tim Seeley's books. Oh my God. Check out some of his horror titles, mostly indie. You will love them. Read Tim Seeley books. With artist Jodi Nishijima. Colorist Federico Blee. Letterer Ariana Maher. And for Marvel Comics, Spider-Gwen, Gwenverse #1. It's a lot of fun. It's really, it's kind of just a fun adventure. It doesn't, sometimes you just need those books that go off the rail, and that's what this is. It is a fun, different book, and you should pick it up. Once again, it's just 5 parts, and this is #1. Definitely grab it at your local comic shop. All right. Now, let me get on my high horse for a second here. Let's talk about Punisher #1. From Jason Aaron, with art by Paul Azaceta and Jesus Saiz, with coloring by Dave Stewart. Let's talk about the book first, because the book is really fun. It's really interesting, and it takes Frank in a whole new level before we get into the other stuff. So Frank Castle, of course, we know he is one of the most accomplished and strategic killers in the Marvel universe. He's got this long history of revenge and war and rage and anger, and it's unstoppable. But there are still so many things in Frank's past, so much more than the murder of his family, and we are still learning about it every day. Where will his war end? Might be in his past. When a certain thing comes to light, It stops Frank dead in his tracks and redirects his future into a warlord of one of the most powerful and notorious assassin clans in the world. Could this be the end of the Punisher? This comic is a deep dive, a deep, dark, violent, gory dive into who Frank Castle was, who he is, and who he may yet be. Once again, no English, it just doesn't happen very frequently. So I'm trying to be very serious because I mean it's Frank Castle. It's a very serious, very, very down to earth, but at the same time, very, very large book. The story is large and big. My cat is meowing at me. I apologize. So with that, let's TED Talk for a second. Please remember that the Punisher is doing what he needs to do because cops did not. For all of you with the Blue Lives Matter Punisher logo that wear that, that's not what that means. That's literally so wrong. It's funny. Okay, moving on. All right, so pick up Punisher #1 from Marvel Comics. It's on your shelf right now. And next up, Captain Carter #1. I'm going to stay up on that high horse for a second. I'm going to remind you that Doctor Strange comes out here shortly. And if you have not read What If and have not experienced the multiverse, you need to. You need to. And of course, the very first episode, which many claim is one of the best episodes of the series, Captain Carter #1. The Woman Out of Time from Marvel Comics, writer Jamie McKelvie and artist Marika Cresta. The Woman Out of Time, Captain Peggy Carter. She's been stuck on ice for decades after receiving the super soldier serum. I'm going to say that like 14 more times, and it's going to be worse every single time I say it. And she's just been lost, and she's been stuck, and she wakes up to this world that she doesn't recognize. People she doesn't understand, technology she's never seen before. And here she is getting pulled in every direction. Anyone with an agenda, anyone with a political backing, anyone with military backing, they all want a piece of her. But what does Peggy want? What does Peggy need? Who is the true Captain Carter in this time, in this place? And what if Peggy wants something different? But what if she doesn't have time to figure that out before evil strikes? Captain Carter #1. You want to pick it up. It's a new miniseries, of course, but it's going to lead us into Doctor Strange. And I want to repeat, if you have not watched What If on Disney Plus, you need to. Even though it is animated, it is canon. These stories in there are canon. Do I wish Chadwick Boseman was still here so he could keep playing Black Panther? Absolutely. Watch last time he got to play Black Panther. Do it. And it's great. I love that episode. It's so good. But it'll introduce you to characters, introduce you to places, introduce you to new universes that you don't know about yet. Pick up the comic, pick up the comic and watch the show. And that's Captain Carter #1. All right, guys, last but not least, and definitely my favorite. To start out, March 5th was Dissociative Identity Disorder Day. That's DID. That is in the layman's terms, that's the split personality disorder. It's in I shouldn't say layman's, in old terminology, we do not use that term anymore. which means we celebrate our favorite, our one and only, our Batman of the Marvel Universe. And you can kick me for saying that, but it's true. Moon Knight arrives on Disney Plus on March 31. And guys, I'm so excited. So even though it is a tie-in, and I haven't really talked about much of Devil's Reign at all on here, I do want to bring up a brand new Moon Knigget for I always call it that, guys. I know it's a Monty Python joke, so for all of you out there who are as old as me or older. Anyway, Moon Knight, I want to talk about Devil's Reign Moon Knight #1. If you're not reading the Devil's Reign event, that is absolutely okay. Most of the side stories you can read on their own, and they do reference each other, so it's a really easy way for you to be able to go back and figure out which ones you want to read, or if you want to read the entire event together. So Devil's Reign Moon Knight #1, from Marvel, writer Jed MacKay, artist Federico Sabbatini, colorist colorist Loughridge, and letterer Corry Petit. They have created this Devil's Reign tie-in where Moon Knight has been arrested by the Thunderbolts as part of Wilson Fisk's crackdown on caped superheroes, on masked superheroes. You know, he might be an anti-hero, but he's still a hero. And Mark Spector, aka the Moon Knight, is in a high-tech prison, and he is surrounded by violent and terrible guards and many volatile criminals that he helped put in there. So he is surrounded by a whole bunch of people who want to kill him. Even more so, and no, not Dracula. But it is a fight for survival, and no one can fight harder than all of him, all of Mark Spector. This is a quest for justice, and it is another step towards the show. I am so excited. As you know, I mean, I've already been talking way too much about the Batman, but I kind of go for the noir detectives, as you can tell. And if you want to know about Moon Knight, because he is slightly a niche character, and it is very interesting that Disney decided to go with him, especially with the concept of mental health. It's such an important part of the story arc. I have posted on the tweeters a list of books that will help you get to know the character. Some of them are kind of hard to find, but most of them are available either digitally or in physicals. But it is on my tweeters, and I will give you my handle in just a little bit. Devil's Reign Moon Knight #1, definitely pick it up. Enjoy Devil's Reign, the event overall. It's really fun, and there's a lot of great characters involved. When you have characters like Thunderbolt, Wilson Fisk, and Moon Knight in one sentence, that's pretty phenomenal. All right, guys, and that's it. That's the end, but there are so many comics every single week out, and I definitely only scraped the surface this week. Support your local comic shop. Please go pick up your subscriptions. Set up a subscription if you do not have it. Support comics, support your favorite creative, support a store and a company within your community, support people, support your neighbors, support local. And with that, we want to give a big shout out to, of course, our wonderful sponsor, Bunnies and Cream. Get all of your nerdy scents in healthcare and self-care, bath bombs, lotions, candles, everything you need right in one place. Bunnies and Cream. You can still get 20% off your order at checkout with the code NERDSRULE. Once again, that's NERDSRULE at checkout. And for all orders greater than $20, you get free shipping. You can follow us, the NRW, Nerds Rule the World, but of course on Wednesday, New Release Wednesday. Right here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, or on Instagram at New Release Wednesday. We still got that one. And on Twitter at the NRW. You can follow me anywhere you really want. I'm always up for a conversation about comics. I will definitely talk your ear off about Moon Knight and Batman. You can follow me at Nerd is a Heather on Twitter, or the opposite at Heather is a Nerd on TikTok and Instagram. All right, guys, y'all have a wonderful Wednesday. Enjoy your comics. Bye, guys.